Hi, this is John Anhalt for PokerZion.com. Recording a 510 full ring video here from a session I played earlier today on Stars. I had a request for a full ring video. My full ring game's a little bit rusty maybe, but I think there's some couple interesting hands here. So I'm going to go through this session just to give you a little bit of background about some of the players. To have a little bit of history of some of these guys. Socksiders kind of pretty much on the loose aggressive side. You're going to see him opening up a lot of pots. Celestian is I guess I would say bad lag. Um, he tends to kind of try and overplay a lot of situations so that he can get his big hands paid off, but makes a lot of mistakes. And kind of his downfall is that he also tends not to believe other people have hands a lot of times. And then some of these other guys, Leather Ass and what have you, are pretty straightforward players. These guys are very taggish. Lots of regulars here, really. So, anyways, again, of course, Sox opening every single pot. Pocket fours. Um, Now, since he's under the gun, I'm giving him a little bit more credit that maybe he has a hand. Klesian, his range is pretty wide here still, and sometimes if this is a situation, it'd be coming at almost squeeze here with pocket fours, although it's kind of odd to do. A lot of times you want to play this for set value, but obviously now with this situation under a gun and the call and what have you, it's just a pretty standard call. And I get a call at a position two. So good flop. We have bottom set, and there's a couple different draws that are possibly out there. And Calistian leads for about a half-size pot bet. Now, I know Don probably come in with some kind of suited connectors or something else like that, or 9-10 or a lot of these different things. I don't want to just flat right here. Um, so I want to raise, but I don't want to make a very large raise. I'm hoping that if he has something like 9-10 or whatever like that, he might push over the top. Um, so I'm just going to make a small raise, and then he just flats, which actually concerns me more. I was expecting him to probably push in that spot. So now either I'm drawing very slim, he has something like 5-6, or he has two pair, or maybe sevens, eights. I don't really know what else I can really put him on besides that at this point. I don't know how he's been playing lately. So it's a little bit disconcerting, but at this point, I'm going to play for stacks. I'm going to make kind of a smallish bet, and I expect him to shove if he has anything that makes any sense to fit this board. And so I bet roughly about half the pot. I leave a very small amount behind me. He knows I'm committed here, but anything that he has, I think he should be putting in. But he just calls again. Um, Very odd. Now I'm either thinking he has a higher set, 5-6. Um, I'm not too sure what else he has here, but he checks again. So obviously I'm pushing, and he calls and shows pocket nines. I really would have expected him to fold at least on the turn there, even though I mean I gave him a pretty good price. But even if I had something like 9-10, uh, you know, he's pretty much gone. I mean, there's not really much else that really fits my range, but that's kind of a example of, I guess his play. I don't know what's going on there. So generally at first, especially full ring, the game tends to be a little bit uh, nittier on average. We have a new player that came into. I don't really know anything about this guy, but I always assume when people come in for a half stack or something like that that they're Just not very good in general on average. So usually when you start to get a feel, and I kind of know how some of these guys play, they play fairly nitty. You just have to really kind of abuse them at full ring in position and make sure you understand that when they're getting ready to kind of set traps and just change gears one step ahead. Um, shorthanded games, you really have to play a lot more about against the opponents, and here it's really just so much more about position than anything. I mean, so here get a raise. Don't know again too much about this guy, but from the cutoff, obviously, the pocket jacks I'm gonna repop here. I don't want to just uh, flat, but he folds. Yeah, I mean, obviously every game is about position, but so much more in full ring because you can take advantage of just kind of how nitty in general a lot of the players tend to be. Um, that's just a generality, of course. So King 7, see Celestion do this little mini raise thing a whole lot. I debate about repopping and isolating here, but I know he's going to call with a pretty wide range too. And even though I'm going to have position, I'd rather have something else, maybe like 7-8 or something, um, rather than King 7. So I just elect to fold. I don't really need to or want to look to outplay someone like him. I just kind of need to be smart and hit some hands, isolate him when I can. Pocket nines, obviously, um, standard open from the cutoff. 6-9 to the under the gun raise and a call. Um, Gonna fold this, even though I know these guys are pretty tight behind me. Get a small re-raise here. Um, Especially against this guy. I know this is a big hand. And I'm not going to be surprised to see aces or kings here. I actually don't remember exactly what he had because I had multiple tables going on, but just looking at this now, um, no idea. This guy could pretty much have anything, but I guarantee this guy has a big hand. Yeah, ace 8. Ouch. So it looks like he's going to get sucked out on, yep, kings.